All right, everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Captain Crush. I'm going to be your host for the next 10, maybe 11 minutes, maybe less. I'm only covering WNBA today. That's right. NBA, it's gone. Jimmy Butler, he chalked. They all chalked. Unless you had Jimmy Butler fantasy score less, like we did, and we got a W out of it. But yesterday, it was a day of remembrance. That day is remembering that players are good and they can bounce back any given time. Michael Porter Jr., folks, I called it. He came through, clutched. That's this game in a nutshell. I will teach you to become a better player, a better fantasy sports player across multiple websites: PrizePicks, Underdog, Thrive, Sleeper, you name it, I cover it, including DraftKings. So that being said, if you came here just to look for quote locks that don't exist, you're in the wrong place. I don't give locks. There's no such thing. Anyone that actually has a clue about this industry wouldn't call anything a lock, number one. Number two, buckle in and let's get into it. So obviously today is Taco Tuesday, and let's hope that the captain can crush, because if the captain ain't crushing, I got news. Y'all ain't gonna be crushing, all right? So pray for me, pray for you. A lot of people have free entries ready to use. It's burning a hole in their pocket. So what I will do is do my best to give you some value here, and I want to start off with fantasy score, and I want to talk about Ezzy Magbegor. She was at 33.5. They bumped her up to 34. What? 34. It's not that too big of a deal. That 0.5 can be a lot when we're talking about other statistics, but when it comes to fantasy score, it doesn't really make that big of a deal for me. But I will say this, I'd rather have it at 33.5. So let's go ahead and take a look at her last five. You can see 44, 39, 43, 29, 45. Now, why do I pull this up and let you see this? I'm not a big fan of the last five. It's too small of a sample size to make any decisions. But Washington is the best defense in their little league, and she played them back to back, and she was able to still get 44 and 39, which tells me that her true ceiling is probably going to be about 50. Yes, a 50 burger. So now they're playing Phoenix. I don't really like the spread. It's 6.5, but guess what? I have no choice. We only have 3 games, so I like it here. But I also like an Uno reverse. It's not really an Uno reverse because I still like it. It's her points less. So Ezzy 13.5 less. I like that, but I like her fantasy over. I also like her first half fantasy more too. I believe it's at 16.5. That is absolutely in play. So if you say, Captain, I don't like the game, I think it's going to be a blowout, then you would want to go to the first half and then give yourself some protection on that. Okay. Number 2, it's a run back. Diana Taurasi. I like her first half too. 16.5. I like it, but more importantly, what I'm going to be on higher than that, her full game fantasy score at 33.5. I will take that. So it'll look something like this to start. It's a nice 1v1 from either side of the coin. I like both of these girls. I will show you their fantasy point in a minute because I'm going to pull out my handy dandy notepad. Diana's averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute, and Magbegor's averaging 1.4 fantasy points per minute. If you multiply those by 30, each of them, they will give you right around these numbers. I like it. Diana's trending the right way. She's on my list for a good reason. Okay. She had a struggle June 9th against Dallas, struggled against the Sparks there, but it's okay. She has a true ceiling of almost 40 or more. She is a little bit older. She's been in the league a while, but I'm still taking it. I want to pause and take a moment and talk about Breanna Stewart, everyone's favorite yellow t-shirt. She doesn't play for them anymore. She's blue now, boys. She's baby blue, the New York Liberty. Yay, Liberty! Okay, but she has a 48.5 fantasy point. Everybody was on this. It was at 49. Now it bumped down. Same thing with her point. It was at 26.5, and now it's bumped down 25.5. I still like less here. The spread is 10.5. It does give us blowout equity, so I do like less on her point. But if you want to take the analytical correct approach here, you could go to her rebounds and take more on 10.5. I know it's a lot of rebounds. I'm not super high on it, but I do like it, and she will hit this more often than she won't. I just don't know if she's going to hit it tonight because of the blowout potential, and because anytime you have someone doing 11 rebounds or 10 or 11, those are high numbers, which is exactly why I'm still undecided on the one man Spencer Strider, more or under 9.5 strikeout. When you have to get those high numbers, regardless of skill level, it's just a lot. I'm going to cover 1 or 2 more here, and then I'm going to wrap it up because the captain has a date on the golf course, and I am going to smash those balls. And let me tell you, the line is 1.5 birdies or better for captain, and I never cap, literally. So if you put your line in at 1.5 under, you're probably going to be chalk, because Captain Crush more 1.5 birdies or better is going to be green. Fuzzy Wuzzy had the dream, and all he wanted to see was a green bean. Mark it and take it to the bank. I will report in about 4 hours. Aaliyah Boston. What can we say about Aaliyah? She was at 28.5. They bumped her to 29.5. She had a stinker of a stinker last game. She put up 4 real points and she still almost got her fantasy score. Absolutely insane. She's playing a tough defense. That's the only reservation I have. It's a close spread. I believe it was 4.5 the last time I looked. So that being said, I'm playing for the bounce back. 29.5 fantasy points. I will take more here. And if it sells, it sells. I ain't scared. I like it. And you can use that same logic here with Melissa Smith. 32.5 fantasy points. Not a big fan. I like her points to go under, but they bumped it down to 15. It was at 15.5. So if you want to go there, you can. I won't begrudge you one bit. Okay, let's see. I think I got 2 more up my sleeve for you guys. Miss Cheyenne Parker, the lady with the eyelashes from heaven. What can I say about her? Okay, 32.5 fantasy score. I had under last game. She absolutely smashed it in the first half. What are you gonna do? 39 fantasy points. Game before that, she played the New York Liberty. Guess who she's playing today? New York Liberty. It ain't gonna be easy. It's a high scoring game potentially, but the spread at the end of the day is still 10.5. So I will be taking my licks and taking less on Cheyenne Parker, and I am prepared to get hurt because she does it to me all the time. But still, mathematically correct play is to take less, and that is what we do on this channel. Process over one-day results, fam. Always and forever. Jewel Loyd, 39.5 fantasy points. What do I always say about Jewel? She's a shooter. She can get hot and torch. She can go cold and freeze ya. It's that simple. So 39.5 fantasy points. I could argue that. I could say she's going to get 39.5. I could see it, but rather I would just go to her points, which was at 25.5. It's now at 26. You can literally just take more there. She shot abysmal last game. She's due to bounce back. I could see people wanting to take less here for that reason. It's still a lot of points, but I'm just never going to do that to my girl Jewel. I'll give her a chance to cash my slip. I'm putting more on her. I'm not high on it. It's not going to be one of my high plays today, but I did include it because she is a popular play from either side today. Okay, and the last one that I want to talk about is Brittany Griner rebounds. She's put at 8 rebounds. As you can see, she played Indiana, Dallas she hasn't, and then she had played those Sparks and she had 11. She played Minnesota, she had 8. I think that her range of outcomes, I know her range of outcomes is anywhere between 6 to 9. I think that 8 is a little bit too high. I could see it pushing if anything. Unfortunately, Amazon Web Services is down, so Outlier Bet and most of my research tools aren't working, but I was doing this all day. I've been in this chair sweating and grinding and looking for value for you guys, and I looked at it and it came up looking good, so I am including it on there. Less 8 rebounds. Again, anytime you're targeting the studs from their respective teams, it's always going to be a sweat, so that is that. So it is Taco Tuesday, so I remember anytime you get the tacos, my plan is I take them. So take your favorite from the list that I just gave. If you're already in my Discord/Dub Club, we already talked about this. I already gave you the 4 flex that I liked. You guys know the move. Take this taco, Chris Bassett, more. I like it. I take every taco. I don't care because it's gonna hit 70% of the time. Most cases, it's just an auto math play. You don't have to think about anything. It makes my job easier because I don't even have to do analysis on it. It's just a discounted projection. I take it. Like last night on Sleeper, Joker was discounted. They gave it out. I paired it with Lowry 3.5. I posted it up here for the people doing God's work, and guess what? It cashed. Easy cash, and we ate a little bit. 2.89x with Lowry and Joker freebie. It was a $20 max. I enjoyed it. So did you guys if you saw it. Speaking of free square, Underdog Fantasy has a free square today. Zach Wheeler, half a pitch count. It's a legit free square, okay? You can take that in their pick'em contest, take higher, obviously, and if you want to pair, you could pair it with Vandersloot assist. You could pair it with Brianna Stewart, higher 10.5 rebounds. You could pair it with Alicia Gray, less 5.5 rebounds. Any of those would work. If you want to go over to the MLB, they removed Spencer Strider's strikeouts. I'm not 100% what's going on there, but as you can see, Zach Wheeler is the free square. So take that, make your pair, and if this is for all users, new, current, or whatever, and if you're new to Underdog, promo code CRUSH, and you'll get your first deposit matched all the way. But more importantly than that, more important than any match, you get a free month into the Cap's Discord, courtesy of me. It's that simple. Send me a DM on Twitter. Let me know. I got your back like a shirt, my brother or sister. Guess what? The Captain's Girl audience is actually increasing. I think I got about 10 or 11 of them now. Actually, yes. I appreciate you girls tuning in. I wanted to tip my hat, and I appreciate you girls tuning in. Let's keep growing. I want to grow that segment. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. One last thing before I wrap this thing up. I know the NBA is over, and I know it's summer, but we are just getting started. We have PGA, we have WNBA, which is great. WNBA will hold us over, and we have NBA Summer League that PrizePicks puts on the board, so we will get to dip and dap and dibble in that. You understand what I'm telling you? It'll be great. And I will be preparing you for DraftKings NFL season, which is the granddaddy of them all, the biggest and best around. I will do my best to get you guys prepared, and before you know it, bang, it's going to be October, and we will be crushing and grinding NBA on a daily and NFL on the weekly. It'll be that simple, and it'll be that glorious. One last thing, it's not a big deal, but the reason my face cam on these videos is small is because I don't have a legit green screen, so I'm jagged, and I don't want to make your eyes bleed. So that is why I'm using a little workaround until my green screen arrives, but eventually it'll be big, just like everyone else that does this. I know, I'm behind the curve. I do all my own editing, fam. I do this all myself. I'm a one-man show. So that being said, I appreciate you very much. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'm doing the Lord's work here with WNBA. I'm going to have it out every single day. I will be the king of WNBA this summer for you. Appreciate it. Good luck tonight. And as always, let's crush.